Hello? Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? Everybody's muted. How do I set up the?
You have it on your keyboard. You got your volume on your keyboard.
There. Hey Ken, how you doing?
Pretty good. How about you?
Doing okay.
My wife, Sandy's hiding behind the bookcase.
That's okay. Brenda's hiding too.
Hiding too.
I'm just admitting everybody right now. I gotta have to change this view to.
Gallery view.
Huh?
The upper right hand corner, you might have a gallery view. Picture view.
I don't see that.
You need to change gallery view to what's more.
Well, I'll check. I need to reshow my. I gotta reshow my work anyway.
Where's your gallery view? I don't know why you have two.
I don't either.
You think you're in twice?
I don't know. Can your mom see me?
I can see you.
Okay.
You need to change your gallery view. I just don't know where it is.
How do I change the gallery view?
Well, on if you hover over your top right screen, it'll come up and say speaker view. And you click on that and you get speaker view. And then once you do that, you get a gallery view.
Oh, we already did that.
I don't know. I'm having.
Just hover over the top right. That.
He doesn't have that.
Meeting.
Oh.
And then I want to be able to share my screen. That's the big thing I want to do.
Yeah, it says it here, but
It's down at the bottom.
I don't know why you don't have anything up there.
Let me hit F11. No. I don't know what. I'm trying to share my screen. Meeting information, enhanced recording. I am recording.
It's a little green thing down on the bottom.
The icon, Alt F5 will bring it up.
What?
Maybe. I've done audio settings. More start recording chat participants. Play. And I'm just waiting for, make sure everybody's in here.
I don't know why you don't have it. Oh, so maybe it's. Okay, so it should be.
There we go.
Okay, yeah, so click on, yeah.
Gallery view.
There you go.
There we go.
Now you're in business.
Okay.
Can I share your screen?
Where's it at?
Mm-hmm.
Let me open it. So anyhow, really this is a class. We're going to use this to, we're going to create a checkbook register, but really it's just introduction to how to create an Excel spreadsheet. Share screen. I'm on share screen here. And I'm going to share screen 1. And the one thing I need to do, I'm going to open up Excel. And hopefully, can everybody see that Excel page?
Nope. Nope.
Well, maybe if I move this over here. Screen 2. I'm struggling. Just have to share screen 2. Can everybody see? Can you see that? Okay. So
Yes.
everybody can see my the Excel page. So whenever you open Excel, normally what you'll get a view that looks something like this. Actually, you'll be at the home. And it shows different Excel spreadsheets that I've created over time. And you can go out here to new, and the easy thing to do would be type in checkbook right here, register. And if we do that, we see we have a couple of different checkbook registers. Of course, that would be too easy and you wouldn't learn anything. So what we're going to do, and really the effort of this class is teach you how to use Excel. So we're just going to start with a blank workbook. And to make this a little bit easier to see, I'm going to make it zoom in just a little bit. So is everybody familiar with how to use Excel? Are you familiar with spreadsheets? If you're not, raise your hand real quick. So everybody is pretty familiar with spreadsheets. So we know that these are cells, this is a column, this is a row, and every column is identified with a letter, and every row is identified with a number. So the first thing, whenever you look at a checkbook register, it has some headers across the top of it. Normally starts out with a date, followed by check number. With check number, followed by description, followed by, and I'm going to put memo in here. Sometimes it's called category. I always refer to this as that little line on the bottom left corner of your check. Next, we have withdrawal. And just to help us further define that, I'm putting a minus sign in there. Now, on checkbook registers, it's normally a little check box. Because you don't have a check on your keyboard, I find X, is a good alternative. Next, we have deposit. And again, like we did with withdrawal, I'm going to put a plus sign in here. And then we have balance. So those are your headers across the top. Of course, we now see that these headers kind of, you're missing some letters, you're missing pieces of others. Well, there's an easy way to format these columns so that they automatically go to the size that you need to fit that header. Pretty simple. We click this top left corner and we see the whole screen turns gray. Then we can pick any one of these lines between the letters and you can see the double arrow come up. And wherever you put that line, if you double click, it automatically formats those headers to automatically fit the size of the column that they're in. Another thing I like to do, I kind of like to bold my headers. So an easy way to bold your, and if y'all have any questions, stop me along the way, tell me to stop, and I can back up. And this is supposed to be a fun class. So I want to bold these. So I'm going to click this column, and just like in Word, I can go up here, click the B, and that bolds all those headers. One of the things I forgot to tell you, just like, you said you're familiar with Excel, you have this ribbon up here, which has most of the tools you need to format this. And John, just to let you know, I'm recording this, so you don't have to write this down. After this is over, I'm gonna paste a link on the computer homepage so that you can go and watch this as many times as you need to. So this is really kind of a watch and see, and that way you don't have to, you can kind of ask questions and do whatever you want. I should have said that up front. Another thing that I don't like about this, these lines are not very heavy on these columns. So I'm going to highlight these columns, and I'm going to go up here, and in this drop down in the font area of this ribbon, I'm going to select this all borders, and now it makes that a little bit easier to see those columns. One other thing I like to do, I like to color my headers just a little bit. And I'll pick a color. And you can pick any color you want. If you want to make it blue, you make it blue. I kind of tend to stick with the monochrome stuff. And so now then, I have my headers. I have a register. Now, I can put in here, let's say I want to pick today. We want to put today's date in this column. So today is the 8th of August, 8/21. Whenever I hit 8/21, it puts 21 August in there. Well, I like to format my dates so that they look more like day, month, year. And we can do that and make this column be we can format this column to always format the date the way we want to. So we go here to font, and there's a little arrow, and under the arrow, we have number. And you see that there's a list of numbers here. We just select date, and then we find the format of the date that we like. 3/14, day, month, year, but I prefer this one right here, 3/14/2012. So when I click that and select OK, Now it formats our date the way we like to use it in America. In England, they actually do 21/8/2020. The next thing we have is check. That's just going to be a regular number. So if we type 100 in here, we see that the check number goes to 100. Description, and we're going to put opening balance in here so that we have an opening balance. If we want to format this column to fit that entry, again, we highlight the column, double click, and it automatically sizes to fit the entry that we have. Memo, we don't really need a memo, but we're going to deposit $1,000 into our checking account. Well, there's a couple of things that I don't like about it. I want this $1,000 to automatically appear over here in this column. And so we're going to create a formula. Formulas, to identify a formula, the first thing you need to do is hit the equal sign. And once you hit the equal sign, we can click on this link. And as you see, it puts the cell number G2. This is where it's getting this cell number because we highlighted it. And if we hit the enter key, 1,000 goes there. So anytime we change this, we change it to 25, it changes that cell to 25. Now, the other thing I don't like about these three columns, I know that these are dollar figures. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to highlight all three of these columns. And you do that by holding down the control key on your keyboard and clicking up here in the letter. And that highlights those columns. Again, we're formatting a number. We're going to go here. We're going to select number, and we're going to select currency. We can, if we're in England, we can select pounds, whatever. But of course, we're in America. We like 2 decimal points. And so now all three of those columns are dollar figures. Also, I want all three of these columns to be the same width. So I grab the widest one, and now it makes all those columns the same width. Now I see that these headers are a little kind of not centered. So I want to center these headers. So again, I go highlight this column. I go up here, and you can see that there's, I can move them left, right, or I can just put them in the middle. And now we've centered all our headers, and we have this formula. Now, I want this checkbook register to automatically add and subtract every time I make an entry into my checkbook register. So 8/21, and all I have to do is put day and month, month and day, and it will put the year for me. Check 1001. I'm gonna go to the gas station. Go to Exxon. Put gas in the car. And we're going to put $25 worth of gas in the car. And now I want this formula to subtract this $25 from this $1,000 and store it in this cell. The way we create a formula, again, hit the equal sign. We want to start with the balance. We're going to subtract the withdrawal. And then for future transactions, and you'll see why, we're going to put a plus sign, and we're going to put we're going to select the deposit cell. So now there's $975 in that cell. If this was a $30 purchase, it modifies that balance. So the next thing, we're going to go grocery shopping. Check 1002. And we're going to go to HEB, buy groceries. Again, we'll just double click this column to fit the memo. We'll buy $100 worth of groceries. And now we want this to, we want to put this formula in here, but we don't want to type the formula. What we're going to do, we're going to click on this cell above it. I'm going to zoom in real close so you can see. There's a little square right here in the bottom corner of that cell. If I grab that, if I put my cursor on there, we see our cursor turns into a plus sign. And we just drag and drop it. And it automatically brings that formula down. If we do it all the way down, because we have no values over here, it just records that same entry across. So you can either do it this way, or every time you make an entry, you can just drag the formula from the cell above it. So let's go in here, 8/22. We're going to check 1003. We're going to go to Bexar County. We're going to pay our property taxes. Our property taxes are going to be $1,000. Okay. Whenever we drag our formula down, it shows a negative value. Well, I want that value to be a little bit more visible whenever I'm overdrawn. So what I can do, I can highlight this cell, highlight this column, select conditional formatting. We're going to highlight cells, less than, and we're going to make this less than $0. We want to make it red text. And we're going to select OK. So now whenever we have a negative balance, it turns red whenever we make an entry. Next, we're going to, we need to fix our, make sure we don't get overdrawn. So let's put another entry in here, 8/21. We're going to put a salary in there. Let's say I get paid by the U.S. Air Force. My retirement pay. I get retirement pay of $2,000. Oh, $2,000. And that pay comes in on the 21st. So now whenever I pull that down, but the problem that we have now, our dates are not in sequence. So there's a little trick we can do. We're going to highlight all these headers. And we're going to come up here to sort and filter. And we're going to put a filter. Now you can see next to each header, there's a little drop down. So what I can do is click on the drop down, select oldest to newest, and now it moved my deposit up above my 821 deposit above my 822 deposit. The next thing I want to do, if I just want to see, along with those filters, if I want to see the checks that I've written this month, I can go out here and select this little drop down, and I can deselect blanks, select OK, and now the only thing showing are my checks. So these filters up here can help you sort. If you're looking for a specific dollar value, I want to find my $30 check. There it is. Oh, it went to Exxon. Select all. And so now I have all these filters. Now, eventually, all of these, this register is going to get filled up. And I'm going to lose those register headers at the top of the page. Well, I don't want to lose those register headers. So I can click on this first column because I want that first column to freeze where it's at. And I think it's under View. And there's under here, there's a Freeze Panes. When I click on it, I select Freeze Top Row. And now, as I scroll down the page, that header stays right where it's at. And so that's just a real quick, simple checkbook register. Anybody got any questions about that? Okay. So that's a checkbook register. Well, the next thing we want to do, let's we want to convert that checkbook register into a savings account register. There's a very simple way to do that. We're going to click on here, go to the Home button, and we're going to select Copy. We'll go down here. We'll select Plus. We're going to click this top left cell, and we're going to paste. Oh, where's the paste?
There, look, the first square. No,
And it actually takes a copy of all the work we did here and places it into this next worksheet. We can go in here and delete all these values and say we've got $200 in there, and then I should have deleted everything but the first one. There we go. So we put $200 in here, and we have a deposit on 8/22. Of $30. And so now our savings account register works the same as our checkbook register. I'll scroll that down a little bit. Now the problem I have now, I have a sheet 1 and I have a sheet 2. Well, how do I identify which one is the checkbook and which one's the savings account? I can right click on this sheet, select rename, and call this checkbook. I can right click on this one, rename. Call that savings. And so now I have a workbook with my checkbook and my savings account. And then if I wanted to create a credit card, I could put credit card. If I can type. Credit card. And again, copy, click on the first cell and paste. And so now I have a checkbook register, I have a savings account register, I have a credit card register, all in one Excel spreadsheet. And if I overdraw myself, we'll do a withdrawal of 3,000 here. They turn red. I want to bring that formula down. I just bring it down, and $40. And you can see how that would be a quick way to automate your checkbook register. Were there any questions or anything? Anything else I need to show you was, let me see if there's some more things I can, if I can show you another trick. I guess probably checks. I kind of like to center those. Center the check numbers. Then once you clear once these clear your statement, just come down here and put X's. Again, we'll center that, which is real easy to do. And as those clear your register, just like you do in your regular checkbook register. And the same thing with your savings account. And then if you had a credit card, it would work the same way. Was there anything else, anything you want me to show you? Some tips or tricks? That's just kind of a real quick, easy Excel 101 class on how to create a checkbook register. And of course, if you go to the file and new, they probably have a better checkbook register than here's theirs. This
Hey,
is
Dwight.
kind of
Dwight?
fancy, a lot better than mine. Okay, but if you use that, you wouldn't have learned anything. Any questions?
Yes.
Yes.
Dwight, sometimes in
You have to or
not
can't hear.
Carol Trossel,
Let's see.
sometimes when you create a spreadsheet, you want to indent under a you want to indent and start another heading. You know, like a sub.
So if we wanted to put subheadings here. Okay. I'm not sure how to, what you mean that you want to create a subheading.
Well, let's see, I'm not explaining it correctly, but sometimes, like if you are creating a budget and then you want to have a heading that says expenses, and then under that heading of expenses, you want to say the type of expense, like categories, maybe groceries, rent. Does that make sense?
Well, let's
You could put another column and then you could sort by that column.
So let's create,
categorize.
Like for a budget. I think that's the easiest example I can think of.
okay, so we have,
You have income and you have expenses.
expenses, we have rent, like that, rent,
Well,
rent, rent, electricity, what else? Water,
want it to be like a sub under expenses. And I always have trouble with that.
like that?
Yeah, well, yeah, I think so. And then you'd have another heading of income. Oh, so you merged it. All right.
Salary, salary, and we have,
Retirement.
retirement, and, what's it called?
Pension,
Uh,
social security.
Oh,
We don't know what. this is.
Social Security. And so that's a way to do that. And then I would use these, I'd merge and center this. Then I would use my I'd use these borders up here. Something like that, and then how's that look? Something like that?
Yeah, I always have trouble with that. Thank you.
And there's no perfect way to do it. I'll probably, I know I've got another budget that I created, but that's one way you can do it. And so January, February, and so and again, whenever you start doing something like this, if you drag it and drop it, drag it, it puts it all out there for you. And so January, February through December, there's 12 months worth right there. And then we'll drag that over there. There you go. We'll delete this column. Is that the kind of a budget you're talking about? Something like that? That's real simple. That's really simple. And then we can copy and paste those there. And that was just real quick. And maybe we highlight these two and center them. How's that look?
Okay.
And I see that these columns are a little bit different than these, but easy to fix. Oh. That's a way to do it. I'm sure that there are another of other ways to do it. Any more questions? Anything else? And again, dragging, being able to drag stuff, like I said, you can drag the formulas down and it'll just repeat that formula. Another way to do it, you can do a copy. You can copy a date. You have 10 dates that are the same, or let's copy. And then I want to paste these dates here. Paste. Oh. It'll bring up this little box right here. And it will either copy it the same or, well, let me do that again. And normally it says fill series. Normally it'll say fill series. Here we go. And so if I want to number something, so if I was over here in my checkbook and I knew I was only going to record checks in this register, I could go ahead and pre-fill all my checkbook, my check numbers by select fill series, and then it shows each check number. Or if I want to copy, it'll make each cell the same. So that's another little tip. It helps whenever you're doing a lot of formatting of, you want something numbered or you want something the same. You can copy and paste the same, or you can copy and fill in a series. So that's with numbers. What else do you want to know about Excel? There are some really fancy formulas up here. And some of these formulas are probably more for this auto sum. Everybody knows what the epsilon sign is, means sum, puts everything together. And so you can do averages. So if I wanted to, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 entries here. If I wanted to average well, that's not very good. Let's go here to my average check number is my average is a $376.67 check. Don't know if that makes sense. Minimum, maximum. There are a lot of formulas out here, financial formulas. And I don't know, I know very few of them. You can do a count. How many checks have I written? And I can go here, well, and do a count. Okay. Obviously I got it wrong. I thought it would count the number of entries I had there. But, again, all these are, this is where the power of Excel really is at, in using these formulas. But I just wanted to show y'all some quick, easy ways to use Excel to create a budget. Create a checkbook register, a savings account register, credit card, and if you want to create a budget. And again, if we go out here, we type in budget, you see that there are a number of budgets out here that are predefined. A lot of them have formulas that will create charts for you. And some of them are a personal monthly budget. I'll have a look at this one real quick. There you go. And there's one with headers and subheaders. They do it a little bit different than I did. Any questions? Anybody? Everybody happy? Understand what I did? So again, I'll take this recording and I will post it on the home page, on the computer group page. And if you want to go back and follow what I did, you can do that recording, create yourself a checkbook register. If you have any questions, just post them onto the message board. And I've had some requests for Bitcoin, on discussing Bitcoin, which is Bert wanted to discuss Bitcoin. So probably in a couple of weeks, I'm gonna do a Bitcoin presentation. I don't know, that's kind of a more financial, but it's also related to computers. And that's going to be a little bit different than talking about how to create an Excel spreadsheet. But Bitcoin, if you don't know what Bitcoin is, that's electronic way to transmit finances. And very interesting way that to manage, I don't know, invest money, give money to people, transmit money back and forth. So that's going to be the next class I think I'm going to do. So any questions, anything? Hopefully you got something out of that. If you have some questions about Excel, send them to me. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. And if I don't have any questions, I'll cut y'all loose. Anything else? Y'all have a very nice weekend. Thank you for participating. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you. It's good to see you.
See you later.
See you, Ken.
Thanks, Wyatt.
Thank you, John. Bye. Okay. How do I end this one?
So, down there, that red.